Hey y'all, and welcome back to another segment of Dining In on Healthy Mondays on Shape Up Sugarland. I'm Rhonda Morrison, and today I'm making a lightened up version of a soup I have made for my family for years. I first came up with this recipe whenever my boys were babies, and so for about 15 years I've been making this soup. I have some basil, some oregano, some garlic powder, some thyme and sage, paprika, black pepper, and I am adding this rub to a whole chicken cut up, and I'm putting it on the meat side first, and then I'm going to go through after I rub it in and make sure I get it on the skin side too. Let me show you on this breast. I want to make sure that I rub the rub on this side, and then I turn it over and make sure that I get plenty of rub underneath the skin. So I rub it there, flip over the skin again, and get the rub up in there too. Because I want to season the meat, right? Because that's what we're going to eat. At the end of all this, that skin's going to be gone. So we want to make sure that meat is nice and seasoned. So give it a rub, peel back the skin, a little more rub, and I'm going to keep doing the rest of this platter of this whole chicken cut up, and then this whole thing is going to go in the fridge for 30 minutes to an hour, about the time it takes me to relax and finish chopping up my onions and carrots and celery and zucchini. This is going to be a scrumptious soup that is totally suited for late spring, early summer. I know you're going to love it. So now that my chicken's ready to go and I have my hot water sitting here ready for me as well, I'm going to get this Healthy Request tomato in here. And the reason why I'm putting this in now is, even though it's low sodium, it's the sodium that's going to season my chicken and have it absorb the vegetables that are in this broth that I'm making. I'm making the broth portion, so I've got my water, hot water, my tomato soup, Healthy Request. I have 2 medium onions, about the size of baseballs, that I did a small dice on, and I'm going to add that in. Just like that. And then I've got a cup of chopped celery and a cup of chopped carrots that I'm adding in to make a mirepoix inside of our broth. There we are. And we're going to let that come to a slow boil. And as soon as it does, ooh, I believe I can start dropping already. I got this water nice and hot. I'm just going to start dropping my chicken piece by piece in this water and let it come up to a boil for 35 to 45 minutes until the chicken's tender, and then I'll be ready to add my poblanos and my red bell pepper and my cheese sauce. So come back and I'll show you how to make that. Hey y'all, and welcome back. I'm just pulling out the rest of my chicken to come sit for a while and cool off for me so I can take the skins off and chunk it up for the end of my soup. Right now I want to add to this stock 1 poblano and 1 red bell pepper. And I did those in a chunky dice because I want those colors to shine through. And then one thing that really complements the cheese in this dish is the sweet. That's why we have so much oregano. We're also going to add in this corn. Get that last bell pepper in there. And then I'm going to come over here. Come check this out. In this pan, I've got 2 tablespoons of butter already melted. The pot's kind of hot. And I've got 2 tablespoons of all-purpose flour that I'm going to sprinkle in there. And I'm going to give that a stir. And come on in and look at that for me. That's going to get nice and caramelized. And I'll show you what that looks like in just a sec. Alright, y'all. If you can see that's turning a caramel brown in the bottom, that is exactly what we want, and that is perfect. Then I'm going to add 2 cups of skim milk. Just slowly incorporate it in there. Whew, a little steam on that. A little more. Really breaking it up as you go. And this is going to thicken as you cook it along. And then once you get all this milk worked in here and all the lumps worked out, we're going to add this 2 cups of cheese. And if you come back in about 5 minutes, I'll be ready for you. Alright, y'all, now this roux that I made, and the milk has come up and it's thickened real nice. In goes my cheese, and I'm just going to incorporate this on in with my whisk. And this is going to come together super fast now. We're in the last 15 minutes of this recipe, and I tell you, between the look of that broth and the look of this cheese sauce, come see this, how this just blends in together. Isn't that beautiful? So to get this to incorporate into my soup, I'm going to start adding a little bit of chicken stock at a time. You don't have to do this, but I like to. I think it really helps it blend better. And so I'm just going to add a few spoonfuls at a time and whisk it. Then I'm going to add the rest of this stock to this bigger pot, just to make sure I can hold everything in there. Once I get my zucchini and my squash in there, which is prepped and ready to go right over here, standing on standby. I got my zucchini squash and my summer squash, and that's going to be the next thing in here. 15 minutes. Peel and chunk my chicken, and we're ready for soup time. Hey y'all, so my soup is ready, and it's golden and it's cheesy, and it's got chunks of red bell pepper and zucchini, and oh, it smells amazing. Let me take a bite. All those sweet veggies, it tastes like summer. It really is comfort food. You can make this on a Sunday and freeze half of it and eat the rest of it on Monday, because with all these herbs, it's going to be even better the next day. Thank y'all for shaping up Sugarland, and come back next week and see what else I have on Dining In on Healthy Mondays.